I'm Dr. Lorraine Corriveau, primary care clinician here at the Purdue University Veterinary Hospital. With the cold weather outside, you might consider dressing your pet up for the weather. And actually, that is a good idea. So putting a jacket on them to help keep them warm while they go outside. Dogs that are younger, older, short-coated, they benefit from having that extra little warmth, just like we do, having a sweater with a jacket on when we go outside. Booties, also a good idea if you're going to be taking your dog for a walk when it's cold outside, not only to protect their feet from the ice or the salt that goes on there, but it can also just be a protectant to keep their feet a little bit warmer too, to protect against frostbite. So I do think, clothing, if it's on there and they're being supervised when the clothing's on, all of that's appropriate as long as it's not too snug and fits them appropriately, can be very helpful for the wintertime. So the salt that we use to de-ice our driveways and our sidewalks can definitely hurt our pets if they're ingested, or even they can be caustic when they're on their feet. So it is important that you do wipe their feet off when they come in from outside, or you use a pet-friendly de-icer. They do make those available that are made with a different compound that's safe for pets. Or even consider putting Booties on them so that they can protect their feet when they're out there. How cold is too cold? That's a great question, and I get that question a lot, and it's variable because it depends on the kind of dog that you have. So if you have a little dog like this that's a single-coated breed, then she's young. She can't tolerate the cold as much as maybe like a husky might be able to that has a deep woolly coat. And so I would say 20 degrees is probably my cutoff. Degrees Fahrenheit is my cutoff, that short walk outside, come back in to go potties, but shouldn't really be taking walks outside in that kind of temperature. But a shorter, younger dog like this, or even an older pet, probably 45 degrees. Even cats would be a 45 degree as well. And so making sure that we're just outside to potty and kind of come back in. Yeah, I think one of the winter times we always worry about, it's cold outside, we've got outdoor cats, they're trying to stay warm, and so where do they go? Do they go to that nice warm engine, that's nice and warm to kind of help keep them warm. So if you do have a car that's parked outside, not in an enclosed garage, and you're worried about stray cats getting up under the hood, just give that hood a little tap, tap, tap on it and see if that will startle them to kind of get them to move away. That's usually one of the big things that I recommend, to make sure that we don't have any kitty cats hiding underneath the hood. So how can we keep this little girl nice and healthy and safe during the winter? So we can make sure that we don't go outside for very long periods of time. We can make sure that if we do go outside, that maybe she's protected with a jacket, sweater to keep her warm while she's outside, that she's wearing some little shoes or booties to protect her feet if she's going to be out for an extended period of time. Making sure she's well groomed, that's also very helpful. So a well groomed coat helps as insulation too. So making sure that they are well groomed. And then, obviously provide good nutrition. If you have a pet that is outside, making sure that their outside area is elevated and not directly on the ground is very helpful. Making sure that their water bowl is a heated water bowl so it doesn't freeze, so they always have access to water. And make sure there's some kind of bedding inside that is insulation bedding so that they can stay warm as well. But probably once it gets below freezing, you might consider having them in an area that is enclosed, like a garage or a shed or something like that, versus just an outside doghouse that's elevated and insulated.